Welcome back to another episode of Science in the Classroom. Today we'll be talking about projectile motion.
That's right. And today we have a special guest here with us to help explore this topic.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kent Podolak from SUNY Plattsburgh, and I'll be helping out with projectile motion today.
Will they hit the ground at the same time?
If the ball is fired horizontally and dropped at the same instant, they will both hit the ground at the same time.
Does the initial velocity affect the rate of dropping?
As long as the ball is fired horizontally, the initial velocity of how fast it's fired will not affect when it hits the ground.
Why do they hit the ground at the same time?
Because when you consider gravity affecting the ball, they will both have the same acceleration downward and thereby hit the ground at the same time.
What is the shape of the launched ball's trajectory that allows it to hit at the same time as the dropped ball?
When the ball is dropped, it just falls downward, thereby increasing its position from the launch point sequentially, whereas when it is fired, it'll have a parabolic motion when you have an initial velocity forward, and thereby the increasing distance going downward, it'll trace out a curve like a parabola.
What about a bullet being dropped versus a bullet fired?
Any object, bullet or otherwise, would abide by the same principles as long as it is not thrown downward or upward with some initial velocity.
And now we're going to investigate what we just discussed. Here we have our ball bearing launcher. We have a rod connected to a spring, which will give the ball its forward projectile motion. So we latch it on to the second notch, and you can see that the spring is compressed. The rod sticks out a little bit on this side, and it has retracted on this side.
And that's where our ball bearings come into play. On this end, a ball bearing will just sit lightly on the rod so that when it goes forward, it'll just fall straight off. And on the other end, a ball bearing will just sit on the tip, getting ready to get launched forward.
And when we lift up our handle here, the rod will both launch the ball and drop the ball at the same time, so we can see how far and when the balls land.